Hey everybody, Gary here for Guitar Tricks, and in this lesson we're going to go over sus chords. So first I'm going to explain to you what a sus chord is, then I'm going to show you how to turn some common chords you probably already know into sus chords, and then I'm going to share with you two common chord progressions that use sus chords. Before we get into the lesson, please go ahead and click the subscribe button so that you get all the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks. Alright, let's get started. So, a sus chord is neither major or minor. A major or minor chord has a root, a third, and a fifth. And the third is the note that defines it as either major or minor. If it has a regular third, it's major. If it has a flat third, it's minor. A sus chord doesn't have a third at all. Sort of like a power chord. A power chord is just root and fifth. But the sus chord, instead of having the third, it's replaced with either the 4 or the 2. So you either go up to the 4 or down to the 2. So a sus chord has root, either 2 or 4, and fifth. Now if you're confused, totally understand. Let me demonstrate using a D chord. So here's a D chord. Now the notes of this chord are D, that's the root, and then if we count up the alphabet to the fifth, D, E, F, G, A, that's the next note. A is the fifth. Then this note here on the 3rd fret of the B string is the root again, so we have root, fifth, root, and then the all-important third on the high E string. And that third in this case is an F sharp. So we've got D, root, E, F sharp, third, G, A, fifth. So D, F sharp, A. And that's our major chord right there. Root, third, fifth. Okay, now if I want to make that D minor, all I got to do is take that third and move it down 1 fret. So then I have root, flat third, fifth, and that is what a minor chord is. Now to make this a sus chord, I got to get rid of that third altogether, so I could go in either direction. I could either go down 1 fret from the minor third or up 1 fret from the major third, and that's how I create a sus chord. So check it out. First I'm going to do sus 4. So I'm going to do the root, the fifth, the root again, and now I went up 1 fret from the major third, and now I have a D sus 4. And now I'm going to go down 1 fret from the minor third, and then I have a D sus 2. So sus is just short for suspended, and that just means that the chord in itself is unresolved. It's not major or minor, it's suspended in the air. Your ear is suspended. So the formula for making a sus chord: from a major third, go up 1 fret to make it sus 4. From a major third, go down 2 frets to make it sus 2. From a minor third, go up 2 frets to make it a sus 4, and go down 1 fret to make it a sus 2. And that's really it. Now, you can do that with any chord as long as you know where the thirds are. But if you're a beginner and that all sounds too complicated, let me just show you some common sus chords without you having to figure it out on your own. So we already just went over the D sus 4 and the D sus 2. Nice, right? Alright, so that was D. Let's look at A. So here's our A chord, or you might play it like this. Now, the third is this note on the 2nd fret of the B string. That's our major third, so we can go up 1 fret. Now we have A sus 4. And we can go down 2 frets to the open B string, and then we have A sus 2. Now a lot of times it sounds nice just to go back and forth between sus 2 and sus 4 like this. So the fact that they don't have a third makes them kind of open to interpretation. Your ear doesn't quite know what to make of them, and it has this very open sound. All right, let's look at C. So with C, we're going to replace the E, which is the third of the chord, with the open D string. That's going to be a sus 2. And then we got to get rid of this E, this high E. So we're going to with our pinky, play the 3rd fret of the high E string. And that's C sus2. Now for C sus4, it's a bit of a stretch. Play the 3rd fret of the A string now with your 2nd finger. Put your 3rd finger right under it. That's the sus4, open G. 1st fret on the B, there's our root. And then 3rd fret with the pinky on the high E. There's C sus4. Awesome, let's look at G. G's pretty cool. Basically, play the D sus4 that you played before. But now add your 2nd finger to the note G, 3rd fret on the low E string. And you end up with G sus2. Now I like to mute out the A string because it ends up sounding kind of muddy with that A, like that. So I mute out the A with the flesh of that finger, which kind of makes it easier to play because you don't have to get it so straight. All right, let's look at E. So here's E major, here's E minor. So we go up 1 fret from that major 3rd. Here's our E sus. So it's like an A chord, but just move everything up 1 string. So you could either cramp fingers 1, 2, and 3 into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th string, counting from toes to nose. Or fingers 2, 3, and 4. I use 2, 3, and 4 just because my fingers are a little on the bigger side. Or whichever ones you fit in there more comfortably. So there's our E sus4. All right, with all that in mind, let me give you 2 sample chord progressions. So here's a really common one. D sus4 to C add 9. And by the way, an add 9 chord is similar to a sus2 chord, but it has both the 2 and the 3. And when a chord has a 2 and the 3, we call the 2 the 9 instead of the 2. Now if that's confusing, we'll save that for another lesson. But just know that if you see add 9, it's not the same as sus2, although they're very similar. Add 9 has a 3rd and a 2. Sus2 has no 3rd, only a 2. So for this whole chord progression, we're going to keep the pinky and the 3rd finger down on these 3rd frets of the E string and the B string. And then we're just going to go 1st finger here for the D. Then we're going to bring that finger up 1 string and put the 2nd finger down on the 3rd fret of the A string for our C add 9. And then we're going to lift both fingers up 1 string for a G. I call this super G. It's the 4-finger G. But we got these fingers as anchors, which makes it nice. So we got So this 1st finger literally just goes from 2nd fret on the G to 2nd fret on the D to 2nd fret on the A. Bop, bop, bop. Now you can strum it any way you like. You just do it real simple. I'm doing the D sus4 for 1 measure, the C add 9 for 1 measure, 2, 3, 4, and then the G for 2 measures, 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm leaving that 1 extra beat just as time to switch chords. You could arpeggiate. However you want. All right, the second one's going to be E minor, A sus2, D sus2, back to E minor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, about this is you got that open E string ringing throughout. So it gives it a kind of pedal tone. A pedal tone is a tone that just repeats throughout the progression. So we're going to start on that E minor and end on that E minor. It's a 4-measure progression. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. If you're having trouble, just strum 1 time, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. However you want to play it. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. All right, everybody. I hope you now understand what a sus chord is, what's the difference between a sus2 and a sus4, and that you see how cool these sus chords could be to add into chord progressions. If you want to see more lessons like this, head over to guitartricks.com, subscribe to the YouTube channel, have fun with this one, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.